Hello, everybody, and indeed, I'm Chicago Tony V, but this is not, decidedly, this is not the Chicago Tony V Show. So what in the hell is this? Well, this is something, let's call it a video, let's call it a vlog, a video blog, only on YouTube. Something totally new I'm trying. And you know what I decided? I don't want to do it alone. I'm sick of being alone. I've had enough being alone. I want to talk to you, my pepperonis, and do something fun. But I don't want to do it alone. So what am I going to do? I'm going to use that phone a friend option, right? Wasn't there that game that was like phone a friend? What the hell was it? Was that Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I watched so little TV. If I nailed that, that would be incredible. All right, I'm going to try it. Let's see if I can phone a friend here. This is weird. I normally do this on Reddit, and I have a whole thing. I'm not on Reddit now, so I'm out of my element. Let's see if this works. Let's see. It's ringing.
Hello?
Georgie?
Yes?
Oh my
Hi,
gosh.
Tony.
Georgie girl.
Hi,
Hey.
Tony.
Welcome to, for some reason, yet more work for the big diesel.
You're too much. You know that? You really are. I keep saying that. But
Honestly,
I mean it.
Georgie, I'm this close to the funny farm.
Well, you know, as long as you're enjoying yourself, I guess it's not so bad, right?
Yeah. I heard this, that just makes me think of, for some reason, I met this priest once. This guy was an alcoholic, had been an alcoholic. He was a recovered alcoholic. And he used to tell stories about it. He was so bad, but he used this term, Twitch farm. They sent me to the Twitch farm.
Nice.
Georgie, I'm this close to
I've never heard that one before.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? I think he was like Irish or something like that. Anyway, Georgie girl, this is so crazy because I was saying just before I called you, I am already so out of my element because, as you would imagine, I have this very set routine that I go through and live stream on Reddit. And it's been so interesting. You would think that because no one's watching, it's not like I have people waiting. It's not like a timed thing. I'm nervous as hell. Isn't that weird?
You shouldn't be nervous. You should not be nervous.
I just got to tell myself I'm not. I can't care. But Georgie, I wanted to start out just by giving, just sort of. You and I talked the other day, but I don't know if I told you this, Georgie. I want to just give the impetus for why we're doing what we're doing.
Okay.
That you so graciously agreed to be a part of. Thank God. I just got to I'll start out by giving a shout out. My friend Pixie.
Pixie, yes, awesome Pixie.
Who just so happens to be in the adult entertainment business. She has a podcast called Next on Stage 1.
Right.
Hey everybody, Pixie. Next on Stage 1, we're going to be playing some Bon Jovi. Come on, Pixie. You know, that sort of deal.
Yes. Yes.
Please, by the way, no one get an idea that I've been in a strip club before. I've just heard that's how they operate.
No judgment. No judgment.
Well, I know you and your Judas Priest background. No, I don't expect to be judged by you, Georgie.
You know, I think I said this yesterday in my long and rambling tale, that when my husband and I met, we didn't have anything in common, and that included music. I listened to very different music at the time, and he expanded my horizons, and I expanded his. So we would sort of take turns, you know, going to concerts with people we wanted to see. So it's not like I've been into metal my whole life, because I haven't been.
I get it. And I'm just giving you shit, Georgie. I'm just giving you
also,
shit.
I was quite the little goody two-shoes in my youth. So think what you want, but I was, one of those don't drink, don't smoke.
Georgie, anyone with a sliver of the spiritual Asperger's that you and I have knows that you are a good and decent person and not a crazy person. You know me. I mean, whatever. Everything with me, Georgie, becomes larger than life. Like it or not.
It sure does. It sure does, Tony. I have noticed that.
But let me finish this idea with Pixie. So Pixie's one of my podcasting friends. She does this podcast, Next on Stage 1. And love her voice. I've learned over time, I just like, if someone has a good voice and good audio, I just like it. Well, she started doing a video vlog. Is that a term, vlog?
Vlog, yeah. A vlog.
Now, full disclosure, I'll be honest. I started watching it because I thought maybe I'll catch a little bit of Pixie's cleavage, right? Which I assume she'd be fine with. You would think, right?
Well, sure. I mean, she's in the adult entertainment industry.
Yeah.
It's her bread and butter.
Right. Well, lo and behold, it turns out it's like, I really kind of like this. It was really fun to just get her. She uses this. She does this video blog as a way to, it's like a way to decompress and just sort of low-key talk about other things. And as soon as I caught on, it's like, oh my gosh, that's what we need. Because, like I said, Georgie, the ChicagoTonyV Show, it's some sort of steamroller. It's like a runaway train. And I don't know.
There seems to be.
I don't know if you can sense it kind of picking up steam.
I can, actually.
You can?
I can.
I mean, yeah. So that's why we're doing what we're doing, and thank God. Little peek behind the scenes for everybody. I called up Georgie the other day. I'm like, I have this idea. Will you please do this with me? Because I just think that would be fun. So we're gonna use this whenever we'll just do this from time to time, whenever we feel like it. Georgie and I thought it would be fun just to hop on and just have a discussion just about what in the world is happening. It seems like, I kind of feel like, Georgie, like all of our tight-knit group, we all, no matter which side of the camera you're on, we're all kind of thinking like, wow, we're part of something, something, who knows what it is, but something's happening.
I feel like that. I think we do. I think it's a common feeling.
It's really strange. Where I want to start, Georgie, and I'll have you know. Actually, let me see if I can pull this up on my phone without hanging up on you. If I hang up on you, I will call you right back. But I'll have you know, I was saying the other day that I can turn on my phone. God, I don't want this to I don't mean this to be conceited, but it's just the way it is right now. I can turn on my phone any time of day or night, and people are ready to converse with me. So I'm just going to share with you. I woke up this morning, and about so this was like around 5 a.m. and I get a message, and I'm reading it now off my phone. Hey, I may have missed it, but what's the backstory on Georgie? Can you believe that?
Oh my gosh.
That's a fan reached out and wanted to know what's the backstory on Georgie. So I do think, Georgie, that's a great place to start, because people that have been listening, I got to assume it's very few people that have been there like from the start. Do you remember? I know it was within like, it might have, I don't think, was your call-in episode 1? I don't think it was, but was it? Do you remember?
It was not. It wasn't. I don't remember the number of the episode, but it was the one where you were talking about Michael Feinstein.
No kidding?
Yeah.
That was your
because
first
you were
call-in?
talking. That was my first call-in. Yep.
Wow. So you were watching for a while?
Yeah, I was. I stumbled across one of your shows
Yeah.
And tuned back in, the next day and the next day. And then I went back and listened to the ones that I hadn't heard live. But yeah, my first call in was the Michael Feinstein.
Wow. Now, what I remember, Georgie, about the first time you called in is that, what's funny is I cannot retrieve exactly what your Reddit name is off the top of my, is it Stumbling George or what is it?
It's Goblin George.
Goblin George.
Goblin George, yeah.
And so in my mind, and especially back then when people would reach out and or call in, I was very, I'm like this just friendly, welcoming thing. And so let's say if someone names, let's say someone's named Robert, right? They call in.
Sure.
My whole thing would be like, Bobby, I would just automatically. So what I recall, Georgie, when you called in, I was just expecting a guy, right?
Sure. No, it's totally reasonable. I mean,
and the way you got your nickname was I was getting ready. I was just in my mind. It's like Georgie boy, and I said Georgie boy.
Well, that's how you answered the phone, because when the Google Voice, I said, record your name, and I said Goblin George,
right?
And you picked up. You're like Georgie boy. I'm like, well, hey Tony, and you're like Georgie girl,
right? And then a famous nickname was born. Isn't that something? And what's funny, see, I think some people wonder, and this person that reached out this morning, see, I think they might have this feeling that like you and I have some sort of history, and then do you remember we got a mailbag that's like Georgie's part of your acting troupe or whatever. You remember that?
I do remember that. I was actually on the phone when you read that mailbag question.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we were on the phone together. So that I did not realize that it was that deep into the show. That was the first phone call. I mean, my gosh, so quickly. And I've been open about it. Like so quickly, I just decided, oh my, like on a day when you're not on the stream, it's uncomfortable for me.
That's kind of terrible.
You're my security blanket. You're my security blanket. But isn't it something? I looked it up the other day. The first episode. Now I actually did a few streams, and maybe you're aware of this. I did a few streams that did not become podcast episodes. Like, so on the podcast episode 1 is really probably like my third or fourth Reddit stream, something like that. For what it's worth, whatever.
Yeah, I think I do know that, because I actually, instead of going to your podcast, I actually went through the Libinator history, and I watched the streams.
Got it.
So I could watch you talking to everybody.
Hey, by the way, just so you know, just to give you something to look forward to, Vincenzo did move the camera back last night. So nice. We got nice big close up of my jowls again.
Fantastic.
So you don't feel like you ever got used to it?
I didn't. I when I checked in, I guess I caught you on a Sunday when you were testing it, and I was like, oh, okay, so here's, you were like, what do you think of the new format? And I was like, I was trying to be nice. I was like, oh God. Here's something
hilarious.
Nice to say. We have a better view of the fire. I think that's what I told you. We have a better view of the fireplace.
That is.
I was trying to find something nice to say. I like Chifafa and like RoboCat. I felt like we lost some of the intimacy that makes your show so great.
Georgie, you got to tell it like it is, man. I can't do this by myself. I need my advisors. My advisors can't be yes men. You're on the board of directors, Georgie.
Yeah, understood.
Like
I will not try to be. I won't try to be a yes man in the future.
That's all right. But so January 1st, Georgie, was kind of the first official one, and so to me, it's kind of amazing to think that's 6 weeks ago, or 7 weeks ago. I mean, doesn't it feel like it was ages ago?
It does. It absolutely does.
And do you remember in the early days? It's so funny to even call it the early days. What the hell? But early on, one of the very common things was, "What is this? What the hell is this?"
Right.
And then,
Yeah.
and then some people. I remember some people would be kind of concerned or a little frustrated that I was not interacting with the stream as much. You know.
Right.
What's kind of interesting is it really seems like it feels to me, and you would know better than me because you're kind of living in the stream and you can multitask. If there was a stream right now, you'd be doing it right now. However you
Boy,
do
howdy.
that. But it seems like that type of thing. It's kind of gone away. Every once in a while, we see there's kind of a who are you? Who is this? But it seems way less.
Yeah, it does seem way less. Because it's understood or it's known now. You're the big diesel of podcasting. That's who you are.
Let me just tell you a funny story. As you know, I've been like, I'm not ready to call it insomnia yet, but I've been up like middle of the night practically. Have you ever seen that show, Paul's Garage? I think, and I think he was in our stream once.
I haven't.
Okay, so he's just this guy. He streams at like 4 a.m. and he regularly does
God.
that. Yeah. And I mean, I've never really interacted with it. Well, I can't say never now because I'm about to tell a story. So like last week, I was up middle of the night. I was already here at the office. I was already prepared. I just was twiddling my thumbs, and I got on my phone and just hopped on RPAN, and there was this Paul's Garage show, and I just joined. I didn't comment or anything. And Georgie, it was within 10 seconds, and someone commented, ChicagoTonyV is on the stream.
That's awesome.
I don't know if and then Paul, the guy that does the show, he says, Chicago Tony's on the stream.
That's amazing.
It was so weird. You know who it was?
It's got to be a little surreal for you.
Well, it is. It mostly is, but it kind of isn't. You know, I made a comment the other day, something to the effect of, I do have, most days of my life, I have these little moments where I just have to notice, if I'm paying attention at all, I just notice I'm an odd individual. I lead a very odd life.
I think everybody does to some degree.
I suppose. Yeah, we all, what's that Billy Joel song? We all have a face that we disregard forever. Won't that be interesting, Georgie? If Chicago Tony, the lounge singer, really emerges, I think that'll be interesting.
I would love that. I think the world needs it again, needs lounge singers again, and I think you're the prime candidate.
I think that would be fun, but it is a technical challenge. It's just like, oh my God, that's just yet more stuff to set up and whatever. But I think it would be really fun.
I think it'd be good for Vincenzo.
I'm sure he could do it. I'm sure he
could.
I just, you know what, my biggest thing, there's kind of two things really. Here's where I think he's going to be a little weak is I learned over the years, Georgie, this is crazy. Have I told my story yet on the show of opening up for Ugly Kid Joe?
No, you haven't. And you asked me that actually last time we talked, not on a stream. And I've been waiting for the Ugly Kid Joe story, and it hasn't happened yet.
Oh my God, just remind me. I'm going to need, let me think about this, because see, what's becoming interesting for the show is, and I've alluded to it, I have these people reaching out and just kind of saying, hey, can I be on your show? It's like, great. Yeah, that's great. But it's like, what's happening a lot now is like I'm like an air traffic controller, right?
Right.
It's like, all right, listen, like someone will reach out to me. Hey, I'd like to get on and talk about something. And it used to be, again, it's so weird. We've only been doing this for 7 weeks, but it used to be that I would just be like, cool, yeah, whatever, call me tomorrow. But now, like for last week's show, think about all the, like Harry was on.
Mm-hmm.
Was
Jack and Haley.
Haley was on. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else.
I think Robo called in.
Yeah, Robo. Now that was impromptu.
Yes. I'm so glad she called in, though.
Me too. That was I actually found myself wondering. It's like I wonder if she enjoyed that. I hope she did.
Well, she said she was going to call in again, so she had to have enjoyed it to some degree.
There you go. But anyway, the people that were involved, and then there were a couple people that reached out that ended up not being on yet. It's like they're in the wings. But it's like I had to say to people, hey, let me get back to you. Yeah, let's do something, but let me get, I don't know.
That's what happens when you're super popular. That's what happens when you're the big diesel of podcasting.
God, Georgie. Oh, Lord.
Sorry.
What? I mean,
Sorry.
No, that's fine. Like, so you knew I reached out to you whenever it was, pretty recently, within the last few days, 4 or 5 days. Like, what thoughts have you, I don't know, have you had anything kicking around knowing that we were going to be doing this today?
Are we seriously going to ignore the elephant in the room?
I think I know where you want to go. Where do you want to go?
You know what I'm talking about. And this is the thing that everybody is going to want to know. There are two things that everybody's going to want to know, right? Everybody keeps asking you about the cheese fry scam.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I told my husband about last night, and he was hysterical. And he said, maybe I'll sit in with you on one of these calls. I was like, all right. So maybe Mr. Georgie Girl will be calling in with me one day.
The more the merrier. I love it.
But the other thing is the bomb you dropped on us yesterday.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that? If you don't, I'll back off. But
no, let her rip.
You put it out there.
I did put it out there. I just want to point out. I'm just going to reiterate. I mean, Robo nailed it. She was like, she had this intuition. That
you were going to feel bad about this?
Yeah. That I have been such a wreck, honestly, because it just feels disrespectful, But it was, Georgie, I was so tired yesterday. And
it was yesterday the day that you were up at 1 a.m.?
Yeah. Dolly got me up and I couldn't get back to sleep and then blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, I had already been going for whatever. By the time the show was going, it's like I'd been going for 6 hours already. But anyway, let's talk about it. So, yeah, I opened up the can of worms. I mean, you had to be wondering, right? Had you ever wondered what was the extent of my relationship with Sister Marie? Had that ever dawned on you? No, look, I'm not going to speculate. One of the things I've learned to do is not to stick my nose too deep into other people's business, right? Oh, yeah.
Sure, I was curious, and yeah, I wondered, but it's not the kind of thing where I'm going to be like, so, Tony, tell me, hey, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, you ever do a nun? That's not the kind of thing I'm going to say. If you bring it up, however, you can't let it go. You brought it up.
I did notice yesterday, I thought I detected, now that I may have been incorrect. I don't know how dialed in my spiritual Asperger's was yesterday, Georgie, but I kind of felt like you were, because I danced around that, I was sort of almost like teasing you with it. I would bring it back up and you're like, no, I'm not going there.
Right? No, so you put it out there, right?
Yeah.
And then I was stunned. I can't lie. Not necessarily that there was a relationship, because obviously there's more to it than, that the way you talk about her
Yeah.
is not that of, I have a friend who's a nun, or even
Right.
I'm in love from afar with a nun.
Yeah.
There's obviously much more, and it's obviously much deeper with you.
Yep.
But the thing is that you immediately backtrack. You're like, oh, it's a joke, it's a joke, it's a joke. And so the way I deal with things like this with my friends, if they're like, oh, that was a joke, I was only kidding, I'll back off, right? I'm not going to push you, because obviously in that moment, you're not ready to go forward with the story. But
Yep.
if you want to bring it up again, I'm all ears. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Well, like I said yesterday, I think and I'll even add to what I said yesterday. I think I probably even need to actually tell the whole story, because I think I need to get it out of my system. Because
I think so. I think it would be very therapeutic for you to do that.
Because trust me, Georgie, there's a part of me that recognizes, it's like, what the hell am I doing pining over this person from so long ago? I must look like an idiot. And I think
No,
part of it
you
is
don't.
just I just haven't, whatever, processed stuff. But I do think I need to tell the story. But like I said yesterday, I think that's going to be the one thing, Georgie, where I am not going to blast it to the world like I'm a rock star.
All right. All right.
But I'll tell you, I mean, when I tell the story, you're gonna be in the, you're gonna get to hear it. You're a VIP.
Okay.
You're on the board of directors. But I did open up. I mean, so what I'll say today, Georgie, is that I will plainly say that I had. How should I put it? My intentions with Sister Marie were natural, and it was definitely more than friendship. I couldn't help myself. Couldn't. Runaway train. You know me. I tend to go. I'm a bit of. I think big, Georgie. And I think there's something about my personality. Well, I mean, this is true. I was able to look at a nun and say, you know what? Maybe there's a chance. Oh my God, Georgie. I need help.
No, it's, well, maybe a little. But we all have issues.
Yeah.
We really do.
Well, yeah. See, you're the mother hen. I just think it's so fascinating. Well, you were talking about fate with your hubs yesterday.
Yeah.
And think of the chances. What are the chances? I think what's happening right now, and the fact that now, Georgie, the fact of you becoming an internet star, which you are, like it or not.
I don't know how that's possible.
There's
But all right, I'll accept it.
There's people around the planet asking me about Georgie Girl, so here it is. But see, to me, that's even more fascinating, because to a certain extent, even though I say, and I really mean it, I say, like, I don't even know how this happened, what's happening, but at least I'm a guy that at some point I was like, all right, here, computer guy, buy me all this equipment, because this is going to happen. So obviously I did something. Now your experience, Georgie, your part in this is way more, I mean, talk about random.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's the kind of life I've had, though. Random things happen to me, and I don't know.
That's fun.
I sort of get into positions where it's like, my friends are like, you know, who would this happen to? Only Georgie Girl, right? It's just sort of common. It's so commonplace in my life that I don't even think about it anymore. But random shit happens to me all the time. So this is like, okay, it's bizarre, but it's not like it's unheard of in my life.
Yeah. That's tremendous. That's tremendous. I think maybe, who knows? Maybe that's why you are emerging as this character, right? Because I do think, I mean, so it sounds like we're learning, you and I are more alike, right? I mean, you got kicked out of a bar on Bourbon Street. All right, that's a little unique.
Not my proudest moment.
I know. That's a little unique, though. But anyway, maybe that's why you're emerging. So, can we touch back on, because I'm on camera and when we do the show, and I can't, and because my eyesight is total horseshit anyway, I can't really see the stream the way you can. But can you talk a little bit about? It seems like it really emerged the last couple of days where it's just going faster. What's your sense?
It absolutely is, yes. I think, so my sense of what's going on is that people are feeling more comfortable engaging not only with you, but with each other.
Yeah.
So the pepperoni family is growing. And because we are as welcoming as we are, it's like, all right, well, this is cool. I think there are a lot of places on the internet where trying to get involved, it's sort of a clique kind of an environment where it's noob, you don't belong here, I don't know you, and it's just exclusionary. There's my word. The pepperonis are absolutely the opposite of that. It's like, you're here, welcome, you're part of the family now.
Yeah.
And so I do think, and, in some streams on RPN that I see, the people engage with the person who's streaming and less so with each other in the feed.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's not all the time. But I think in your feed, it's both, right? And we talk to each other in addition to talking to you.
Yes. Something that I have noticed, and again, I'll use, just because it's fresh in my mind, I'll use, Robo did a thing in the stream yesterday where we had a new person who just followed me or whatever, and Robo was just like, welcome, here you go.
Exactly.
And I think, that's what you're talking about. I'm curious, one of the things that I have not, again, because I'm just, I'm on the bucking bronco, right? I'm on the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't notice it maybe like you guys can, but I've always wondered, even from early on, I learned pretty quickly that people, it seems like they were going to have similar types of questions, like there were going to be some recurring questions, and that's why I did the FAQ and that sort of thing. Are we to a point now where our pepperonis kind of answering questions for me as the thing goes on? Are we seeing much of that?
I think to some degree, the standard questions of who are you?
Yeah.
Who is this guy? That's not as much.
Because it's like, how do you answer that? I mean, that's such a broad question.
Yeah. But yeah, we're talking to each other, and if questions are coming up, we answer them. We've been family long enough to know, and I'm using that word, and I mean it, right? I think of us as family.
I know.
Hence the word of the day, that other, this week it was family, right?
Right. I remember that. I found that to be very inspiring. God, 7 weeks, Georgie.
It's amazing what can happen in 7 weeks, Tony.
I know. It's kind of scary. I mean, so a little bit more of a peek under the hood from my side. So we've kind of talked about, from your side in the stream and all that stuff. One of the things I think I touched on this once within the last few weeks, but I'll just kind of get it out for the record. A fascinating thing that I never really talked about, maybe for obvious reasons. But so early on, I would get quite the outreach from gay men, Not that there's anything wrong with that, whatever, blah, 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 but it is not my cup of tea. That's definitely not how I'm wired. Now, but so I did not in a million years see that coming. And
I don't know that I would have seen it either. I mean, don't get me wrong. You're a lovely man to look at, and you're very approachable, and you're quite a cutie. But I didn't know that's the demographic you would be attracting.
I know. I know. Now, the arc of that is really interesting, though, because I can remember in the early days, I would get, like, people figured out, the phone number. It's like, oh, I can text this guy, you know? And it was gay men. I would get these texts, and it's like, hey, I'm just testing the waters here. Is there, by chance? And I'd be like, yeah, no. And but what's fascinating is that totally stopped. I mean, I'd rather not deal with that. But isn't that interesting?
It is interesting.
Yeah.
Now, well, okay. So let me ask you this though.
Yeah.
Do you think it's sort of like what I was describing in like the chat rooms, the early days of the chat rooms? It's like all the guys going, asking age, sex, location.
Oh yeah.
Just to sort of get naughty photos and such.
There you go. Maybe. And as you said, the other thing you said is like they're becoming used to me, especially because I do it at the same time every 7 a.m. Maybe people are just like, oh yeah, there's that guy again. Moving on, Yak said something interesting when he was talking about his show, and it really made me wonder. He's like, oh no, I can't compete with you in the morning or whatever. And I immediately brushed that off as a joke, but then it's crossed my mind. It's like, I wonder if he really thinks that. I mean, you're broadcasting the same time every day. Yeah.
And if somebody who's part of the Pepperonis also has a stream, like our beloved Yak,
there you go.
He's certainly not going to go up against you.
Yeah, which I appreciate. I mean, that's the first thing I was when I saw a tweet of his saying, it was something like, it's the start of something beautiful, and he had a link to Reddit. I pulled it up. It's the Yak Horseman Show. And yeah, one of my first thoughts, and I looked at, when did he do this? Oh, okay, it was 10 o'clock at night. Okay, all right, good. Yeah, I'm glad he's still going to be able to. But he's one of the Pepperonis that he has surprised me just because he's a guy, and I've talked about it. It's like it's taken me a while to dial in. What is Yak all about? There's kind of this mysterious quality to that guy.
There is a little bit.
I don't know, but I think that'll work well for him as he gets this show going. Because I think it would be tough for a boring person to do this, I guess.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I don't know.
Especially with any frequency.
Yeah. One of those deals. What other...
Can I tell you one thing about Yak that I haven't?
Yeah.
That's been, like, lingering on my brain?
Please do.
Yak, so I checked out his show, and I got to tell you, he looks so much like my first boyfriend. I cannot believe it.
Whoa.
Like, I was like, this is like looking at my first boyfriend. I mean, it really is. He sounds like him. His hair's the same. His freckles are the same. I mean, it looks like him. I mean, obviously it's not, right? Because Yak is, I think, much younger, and I'm not even sure he was alive when I had that boyfriend. But I was like, holy crap, this is weird for me. So it's taken me a little bit of time to get used to seeing Yak as Yak.
Yeah, see, the thing is, again, because Yak he's interesting, and he's got this unique voice and everything, it's when you talk to him, when you hear his voice, right? He was just, for the longest time, he was just this voice that would call into the show. You just can't, your brain can't possibly come up with what Yak really looks like, right? It's just
Right.
because he sounds unique. And then when you see him, it's like, oh yeah, he looks unique too. I thought it was really cute that he kind of explained his look. He's like, I'm so tall, I gotta compensate with the way his hair
Right.
is going, you know? Oh, it's just kind of funny. But Georgie, here's what I wonder.
Yes.
And tell me, I wonder if you're having the same feelings too. I'll share with you, like, so I can't remember something I'll say within the last week or so. I've had a lot of podcasting friends reach out and basically tell me, you're gonna go big time. Like, it's just over and over. And I don't say that to say that's what's gonna happen. But just noticing again the stream yesterday, all the numbers, like I think I posted on Twitter maybe this morning, like we have 500 downloads of the podcast now. The stream itself, I think Vinny sent, I've got him trained to send me numbers, you know, and if I remember correctly, it's like we're averaging, it's about 3,000 views each week. And then so whatever, and that's roughly, but anyway, but the numbers are growing and growing and growing. The podcast downloads, it's increasing at about, like, each week is about 100% higher.
Goodness.
Than the previous week. So, and then again, what's happened to me, this thing that's happening to me behind the scenes, and I've talked about it, is like I almost can't use Twitter anymore, which I'm still very, very confused by that, because what I don't get is, I don't have that many followers. I don't know how this, I don't understand it, but my phone is going off constantly. I'm being put on these lists of people and blah, blah, blah. I found out last night I'm on I was nominated for some sort of whatever. I don't know. I already can't follow it. And I'm just starting to wonder, Georgie, it's like, and the biggest thing that got me was that stream that has sped up. It's like, is this going to be, how are we going to deal with this going on? You know?
I don't know, Tony.
I guess we'll just have to find out.
Yeah?
We'll just have to
the
figure
only
it
thing
out.
you can do is whole strap in and enjoy the ride, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think one of my real superpowers is, one of the things that's going to get me through this whole thing is, like, I'm not taking myself seriously. I mean, I love doing this, but I would do it if it was whatever, just for pepperoni. Let's say it's you and Chifafa and RoboCat and whatever, Yak sitting around. I'd still be doing it, so I don't really care. But just the past week, it's just getting really interesting. I don't know.
It really is.
I also have this feeling, Georgie. It's like I'm already trying to practice my apology speech to your husband, and just, hey, thank you for giving me so much of your wife's time.
My husband loves the fact that we're friends. He absolutely does.
That's, well, thank God. Thank God. Oh man, yeah. What was it like? So I called you the other day for the first time, and I gave you shit. I was like, how's it feel to be called by whatever? What did I say? Internet celebrity? Something like that?
Yeah, something like that. I'm still not buying it.
That I'm an internet celebrity? Or what?
Oh, I thought you meant me, because you were telling me I was going to become an internet celebrity.
Oh, that. Yeah.
You're certainly an internet celebrity. How does it feel to be called by an internet celebrity?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's humbling, Tony. It's truly humbling.
Oh, God, Georgie.
Thank God. I'm full of shit. I know it.
No, but like I said, I'm getting questions about you now. So I think...
Which I find mind-boggling. I'm like, I'm the most boring person in the world. Who could ever wonder about me? It doesn't make sense.
Well, you're clearly not boring at all. You're not boring at all. I think it's going to be interesting to start to think about when... I know this is going to sound crazy, but something that's emerged, we've talked about Robo's art thing, which, like, I'm serious. Like, I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take as many of you people along with me as I can. But it's really got me thinking. I'm now getting curious about when it's going to be safe for us to interact, because I really want to start planning stuff like that. I think that could be so fun.
It would be fun, but we do have to be careful.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I'm so detached. I really have no feel for what timing might look like. And I mean, here's how disconnected I am, Georgie. I mean, if you told me like, it looks like it's going to really free up next month, or if you said, it's looking like a couple years, it's like, whatever. I have no idea what's going on.
I think it's somewhere between the next month and a couple of years.
Yeah. Well, what's nice is, that's going to give us a pretty good runway to just think about it. It's going to give me a lot of time to, start shopping for tour buses.
There you go. I think we have at least 6 months at a minimum.
Yeah.
A minimum.
Yeah, well, I can't imagine hitting the road within 6 months, maybe a year. Maybe I could pull it off within a year.
And that might be a more realistic time frame, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, they're ramping up vaccine production, and hopefully they'll get the kinks out of the distribution networks.
See, who knew, Georgie, that the Georgie and Tony video blog was going to be the first time where the stark reality seeps into the show. See, I'm disappointed in us.
I can understand that. We usually do a very good job of avoiding this kind of topic.
Yeah, and usually you're the one. You're sending me a hint in the comments. Hello, we're not talking politics,
No politics.
Yeah.
No global crises. It's just the Tony V Show.
Right. That's it.
But you asked an honest question, though, a serious question.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Hey,
I blame you for that. That's all you.
It's my fault. Here's just a thought that just occurs to me just completely out of nowhere. I mean, you and I are dear friends, right?
Yeah. I think so, yeah.
I'm just curious. I mean, is there something you want to ask me that you haven't? I don't know. I just totally off the top of my head. I'm putting you on the spot, Georgie.
You are absolutely putting me on the spot.
I guess you probably, I mean, you said the other day, and it's true, you said that I'm very accessible. So I guess...
I think so, yes.
I guess if you had a question, you would have asked it by now.
I would have. I think the spiritual Asperger's that we share, it has me, I feel like I know who you are as a person.
Yeah.
And I think I mentioned in this call, I try not to poke my nose in where it doesn't belong.
Yeah.
The way I feel about asking people things that, about their past or about them as human beings, I generally don't. I'm always open to discussions, and I'm always open, to conversations about serious things. But I don't like to pry, and I don't like to push people on things that they're not comfortable with. So, like the Sister Marie thing, I would never have brought that up, but you put it out there,
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Does that make sense, or does it just sound
no.
like I'm sort of an apathetic human being?
No, it totally makes sense. And it reminds me of something that I think you said yesterday, which is very true, and it was so funny. You said something like, people, you said something to the effect of, like, we all have skeletons and we all have stuff that we just keep to ourselves. And then you said something like, except someone like you. And then you went on.
Puts it all out there.
Yeah, and it reminds me of something that Anthony from the We Have Issues podcast. I mean, one of the things that's crazy is, they started talking about me on their podcast here and there, and it's just, I mean, that's where I get to experience, I'm just a fan. And then when you're fans of someone and they start talking about you, it's like, holy crap, that's exciting. But he made some sort of reference to having some sort of amazement that I seem to be an open book. I'm exposing all this stuff to all these people on the internet.
Yeah.
And I guess that is strange. I guess that's kind of unique.
It is unique. It's very unique.
I don't know.
I mean, you don't even know my real name, Tony.
I'm glad you brought that up, and you want to know, Georgie? I was thinking about that this morning, and I kind of don't want to know. For fun.
That's cool. That's
Fun.
cool. I mean, to me, having you call me Georgie is natural.
Yeah.
Like if you were to call me by my given name,
Right.
it would feel unnatural.
I know. I mean,
So I will always be Georgie girl you.
Right. Always. That is true, no matter what. So even if I did know your name. But that brings up a very interesting thought, Georgie. Oh my gosh. Let me lay this one on you.
All right.
Here's something that's been kicking around in my brain. I mean, so I think it's safe to say, I could be wrong. I hope I'm not wrong. But I think it's safe to say that I've done a pretty good job. People don't know where I'm at, who I am, all that stuff, right?
Right.
But then in the back of my mind, it's like, what I've started thinking about is, all right, when I have my grabber, whatever it's going to be, grabber, hit by a bus, whatever.
Right.
I want all the pepperonis that want to party. So I've thought I need to have a way that if something ever happened, I need to have a communication plan set up. Now, I haven't thought this through at all, but the type of thing that's crossed my mind, Georgie, is like, okay, I could give Georgie the keys to the kingdom. Like, I could give you like some sort of, I mean, think of it like a lockbox. Like, Georgie, here's the contents of everything about me, exactly, all the details. And then,
Holy shit, Tony, that's insanely huge.
but the question is, Georgie, what I would want to say to you is, Georgie, here's how it's going to work. I want you to just sit on this. Don't open it. Because I might put some dirty pictures of Sister Marie in there, and I don't want you to
Oh
be
my
shy.
God,
Kidding.
Tony.
I'm kidding. But
if you gave me a lockbox of this information and you told me not to open it unless you had your grabber, I would sit on it and not open it.
You would not open it? You could do that?
I would not
you could
open
pull that
it.
off?
I can do that. I have enough self-control that I wouldn't open it. Because
that,
you're my friend and you'd be trusting me with something, and I'd be breaking your trust if I opened it.
Oh my gosh! So that might be a fun thing to do. I might put that together. Now, I think the way it would work would be something like, okay, Georgie, I'm going to give you this thing. And if just one day, we'd have to decide, are we going to give it a couple of days? If I just don't show up, right? The ChicagoTonyV Show isn't on today. We'd have to come up with, all right, are you going to get nervous? I could probably what I could do is I just give you instructions. If you get nervous and you break the glass on the thing, here's who to call that would probably know whether or not I'm dead.
Right.
And all that stuff.
Right.
And it occurs to me, Georgie, that this is the most conceited thing I've ever thought of. Think of that. Oh my God, I am turning into this self-centered idiot. Anyway.
That's too funny.
But honest to God. Well, and the reverse is true too. Because I mean, like let's say something happened to Robo, for example, you know?
Right.
Wouldn't it be nice to know?
It absolutely would be nice to know.
Yeah. So I think we're going to have to figure out a way. We might have to figure out a way to...
An emergency contact network?
Kind of. Yeah. 7 weeks, Georgie. Listen to us talk after 7 weeks.
It's nuts.
What the hell is going on? It's the weirdest thing ever.
You know, I think this whole global situation has made human connections have much more significance, and we're much more open to connecting with people in other ways.
So true. So true. And thank God. I mean, thank God. What else do we have? If I were truly under house arrest, here we go. Here we go. Letting the reality seep in again on our first video blog, Georgie.
Man.
Anyway, but these are all fun things to think about. I don't know. I really, Georgie, bless you for taking the time to do this. Of all the pepperonis, I am the most vocal about leaning on you, first of all.
Yeah.
I've made it pretty obvious. Hey, wink, wink, Georgie, you'd better be there in the morning or I'm going to freak out.
Yep.
So there's that. And I'm sorry.
No.
You did take a day off.
I had a hand in this, right? I had a hand in this.
I suppose, yeah. Yeah, you're right. But now after hours. Now this is, again, I'm already crafting my speech to your husband, my apology speech. and here I am, whatever. But God love you. I'm glad and flattered that you took some time.
Of course.
And aren't you, just as an interesting aside, see, I'm doing what I always do. I'm staring into a camera. But you can't see me right now. That must feel a little different.
It is different. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. So I'm excited for you to see this. I don't know. It'll go up in the next couple days, and so I'll talk about it. I'll talk about it on Monday, I guess. Probably, right? Why not?
Why not?
Just share. You know, hey, guess what Georgie and I did. Okay, awesome. Hey, listen, I'm gonna wrap it up, but stay on. A couple things to cover.
Okey-dokey.
All right, dear. Okay,
Alrighty.
you want to give us the send off, Georgie.
Don't take any shit from anybody.
That's 2 in a row. Okay, God love you. See you next time.